Let's say, is A, B, in Japanese. First of all, how do you say, A, is B? We learned this in the last lesson. That's right.
A は B です。
You've mastered it. You put the particle, wa, after the subject, and the be verb, dis after the complement. Now let's turn this into a question. Is A, B?
A は B ですか?
That's it. In Japanese, to turn an affirmative sentence into a question, you add the question particle, ka, to the end of the sentence. The rest of the sentence remains unchanged. This, ka, indicates that the sentence is a question. So there is no need to use a question mark when writing in Japanese. In fact, nowadays it is common to replace a full stop with a question mark. However, this is not the formal way to write it in Japanese. Regarding intonation, the pitch is usually raised at the end of a question. Let's practice the pronunciation.
A は B ですか?
Very good. First, let's turn the sentence we practiced last time into a question. Do you remember how to say, I am Japanese? What was I in Japanese? That's right.
私。
So how do you say, Japanese? You remembered well.
日本人。
Now let's practice the whole thing.
私は日本人です。
Very good. This time, let's change the subject to you. This is how you say you in Japanese.
あなた。あなた。
Now try saying, you are Japanese in Japanese. That's right.
あなたは日本人です。
Now, turn this into a question like this. Are you Japanese? Bravo.
あなたは日本人ですか? あなたは日本人ですか?
You've already mastered it. Now let's ask the next question. Are you a student? In Japanese, student is said like this.
学生。学生。
Very good. So let's ask, are you a student? Perfect.
あなたは学生ですか? あなたは学生ですか?
Very easy, right? This is too easy. So today we'll also practice how to answer this question. First, let's answer this question with yes. This is how you say yes in Japanese.
はい。はい。
Very good. So try answering, yes, I'm a student. Wonderful.
はい、私は学生です。はい、私は学生です。
Very nice. Now let's remember what we learned in the last lesson. In Japanese, it is common to omit elements that are obvious from the context. Here, it is clear that I is the topic, so I is usually omitted. Let's practice this shortened version.
はい、学生です。はい、学生です。
Great. Also, since you answered yes, there is no need to repeat the rest of the sentence. However, saying just yes may be too brief and may not leave a good impression. In that case, you can answer like this.
はい、そうです。
This means, yes, it is so. So means something like, just like you said. This is a versatile and polite way to answer any question with, yes. Let's practice.
はい、そうです。はい、そうです。
Wonderful. Now try saying, is she a student? We learned the word, he, in the last lesson. Do you remember how to say it? はい、そうです。
彼。彼。
Here's how to say, she, in Japanese.
彼女。彼女。
The word, she, is made up of the kanji for he and the kanji for woman. So how do you say, is she a student? Great.
彼女は学生ですか？彼女は学生ですか？
Very good. Now, what if the answer is, no? This is how you say, no, in Japanese.
いいえ。いいえ。
Very good. Usually, when you answer, no, you use a negative sentence. But we'll learn about negative sentences in the next lesson. So, this time let's answer in the affirmative. No, she's an engineer. This is how you say, engineer, in Japanese.
エンジニア。エンジニア。
Occupations that are relatively new to Japan are often called by names in foreign languages, mostly in English. For example, designer,
デザイナー。
pianist,
ピアニスト。
and analyst.
アナリスト。
Let's go back to the original sentence. How do you say, no, she's an engineer? Super.
いいえ、彼女はエンジニアです。いいえ、彼女はエンジニアです。
Excellent. This is the last one. Let's practice some more phrases that may be useful when traveling to Japan. You may come across things in stores or information desks that appear to be being given away for free. For example, booklets, maps, and other goodies. In such situations, it would be good to be able to ask, is this free, just to be sure. Here's how you say, this, in Japanese.
これ。これ。
Very good. Also, in Japanese you say, free of charge, like this.
無料。無料。
Now ask, is this free? はい、そうです。
これは無料ですか？ これは無料ですか？
Excellent. If you recognize these kanji, you won't miss out on any opportunities to get free stuff. Sometimes you may also want to ask if admission to a facility is free. In that case, the subject would usually be this place rather than this. This is how you say this place in Japanese.
ここ。ここ。
Great. So how do you say, is admission to this place free? Perfect.
ここは無料ですか？ここは無料ですか？
Amazing. Now, in the next part, let's practice a conversation using today's sentence pattern. In today's conversation, you ask a question to a stranger on the train. First, listen to the whole conversation.
すみません。はい。ここは渋谷駅ですか？いいえ、原宿駅です。渋谷は次ですよ。そうですか。ありがとうございます。どういたしまして。
Let's look at each sentence one by one. A tourist is looking at his mobile phone on the train and loses track of which station he is at. He then speaks to a passenger nearby.
すみません。
This is the first phrase you say when talking to someone. No is a filler word, a word with no particular meaning, just like the English word, So there's absolutely no problem with not saying this. However, many people say this, so it's good to get used to it. The phrase that follows is, excuse me, in Japanese. This is the first phrase you should say when talking to someone you're not very close to. For example, when talking to strangers on the street, or staff in shops or restaurants to ask for something. It is said that the original meaning was, no matter how sorry I am for causing you trouble, I can never be sorry enough. This sumimasen corresponds to the never enough part. Therefore, this phrase can be used not only when stopping someone, but also when apologizing. You can also say this phrase if you bump into someone in a crowd. Let's practice pronunciation.
すみません。すみません。
Person being spoken to then responds.
はい。
You already know this well because you've practiced it a lot. In this way, hi is also used as a word to respond to someone speaking to you. In Japan, when your name is called during roll call, you usually answer with, hi. Let's move on to the next sentence.
ここは渋谷駅ですか？
This is the sentence pattern we practiced today. He is asking if he is currently at Shibuya Station. Since a station is a place, the subject is koko. In Japanese, a train station is called
駅。
You probably all know Shibuya. This station is located in downtown Tokyo, Japan. Let's practice.
ここは渋谷駅ですか？ここは渋谷駅ですか？
Well, here is the answer of the person who was spoken to.
いいえ、原宿駅です。
Apparently this is not Shibuya Station. Harajuku is the next station from Shibuya and is also a popular tourist destination. Let's practice pronunciation.
いいえ、原宿駅です。いいえ、 原宿駅です。
The person then tells that Shibuya Station is the next stop.
渋谷は次ですよ。
This is how you say next in Japanese.
次。
This, yo, is a particle that is often added to the end of a sentence in colloquial speech. This is a particle that expresses the nuance of conveying information to someone. It's completely fine if you don't say it. However, it is very commonly used in real conversations, so it's good to get used to it. Let's practice.
渋谷は次ですよ。渋谷は次ですよ。
Next is a phrase you can use when someone gives you information. The question particle, ka, is added to, so dis. So it means, is it so? Although this is in the form of an interrogative sentence, it is not a question. It's more like, I see. Therefore, the pitch at the end of the sentence is not raised. Let's practice.
そうですか。そうですか。
And here's a very important phrase.
ありがとうございます。
This is, thank you, in Japanese. Arigato is an old way of saying, rare and precious. And this, gozaimasu, is the most polite form of the be verb, dis, which you all already know well. So if you translate it literally it would be something like, it's a very rare and precious thing. Let's practice.
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Finally, we learn how to respond to, thank you.
どういたしまして。
This phrase literally translates to, what happened? It means, what happened? I didn't do anything. It's similar to saying, it's nothing, in English. Let's practice pronunciation.
どういたしまして。どういたしまして。
Now, let's practice the whole conversation once. Listen to each sentence and repeat it.
すみません。はい。ここは渋谷駅ですか？いいえ、原宿駅です。渋谷は次ですよ。そうですか。ありがとうございます。どういたしまして。
Now let's do some role playing. First, play the role of the tourist in part 1. Then play the other person's role in part 2. Hajime.
はい。いいえ、原宿駅です。渋谷は次ですよ。どういたしまして。すみません。 ここは渋谷駅ですか？そうですか。ありがとうございます。
Great job, everyone. In the next lesson, we will practice making negative sentences. See you again.
ではまた。